Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are. Back in the kitchen here at the Vegan Good Life with Miyoko. Now, I got to tell you something. The wonderful lady who has been filming these episodes for the last year, Annie McGuire, who's behind the camera, a young lady who's a friend of both of my daughters, is moving to London on Monday in a couple of days. So, I'm not going to have her to film these. I'm going to have to figure out how to do it myself on my phone. Ah! Anyway, whatever. Or maybe somebody will step in. Hopefully somebody will step in and film them for me. But because she's going to London, I was like racking my brain thinking, okay, what can I make that's English? And I've just been really low energy, not feeling great lately. And just, you know, like putting together something like a shepherd's pie with all this stuff, just too complicated. So I thought, scones. So that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make scones, put a couple of different fillings in them. I think I make really good scones, so I hope you will enjoy making them. And before we get started, because this is the scone challenge for Annie, she's going to have to go to England and she's going to have to try some scones and then write back to me and tell me whether or not mine were better. All right, Annie, you got that?
Sounds good.
All right, Annie, you got to say hi to the camera. Okay. All right,
Hello.
This is Annie, everybody. Say hi.
I don't know if I'm in frame or not.
Okay, I know, because I'm shorter than you are. I can go like this. So are you looking forward to going to England?
I am really looking forward to it. I know England's very vegan friendly, but I'm also excited to see how it holds up to everything Miyoko's been making here.
Okay, well, excited. We'll see how the scones hold up, all right?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, back behind the camera. All right, so we're going to get started. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've made this recipe, a gazillion times, but for some reason I've never written it down. And so there's always a little bit of fudging. You know how I am with that. So we're going to get started. But the ratio is about 3-to-1 ratio of flour to fat. That's what I found to be really, really perfect. So I'm going to start out with 3 cups of just general all-purpose flour. We'll use this to even it out. And we'll make a couple of different types today. We'll divide the dough in 2 and put different fillings in them, possibly. All right, now I'm going to add a tablespoon of baking powder to this mixture. And, I forgot the sugar. As far as the sweetener is concerned, you can fudge it 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 a cup is about what you want. Let me get, this is organic sugar. Remember, organic sugar does not have bone char. So that's a better bet than white sugar. What? Invert.
That's what you want to avoid, yeah.
Invert sugar, that's right. So they processed it, they filtered it through bones, and so it's not vegan. All right, so we're going to mix that up. And you can add a little sprinkle of a couple of pinches of salt if you like, or leave that out. Either way. So we're going to mix that really, really well. And then we're going to cut the fat into this. Now, typically, of course, British scones would have butter in it. And most recipes for vegan scones also involve vegan butter. But what I found works better than butter is just straight virgin coconut oil. Now, if I'm making a vegan cheese that has coconut oil in it, I want it to be deodorized, not virgin. But for scones, virgin coconut oil, for some reason, does not leave a coconutty taste, and it gives it a really flaky crumb, and it's buttery. Butterier than butter. Seriously, it's amazing how that works. So we're going to add 1/3 volumetrically the amount of the flour. So that would be 1 cup of virgin coconut oil. And then I'm going to cut that into my flour. Now, don't melt the coconut oil. It's got to be hard. So, just take it out. It's just at room temperature. If it's summer and it's all soft, you should refrigerate it ahead of time because you want to cut the fat into the flour. And you want to leave pea-sized chunks of the fat. You do not want it to be completely mixed in because it is that fat which melts in the hot oven that creates the air pockets and gives the scones a nice rise and a flaky texture. So remember that. Now, if you don't have one of these contraptions, you can use 2 forks. You can also use a really sturdy whisk. Okay, well that is done in terms of incorporating the fat into here. And now we're going to add the milk that will tie this all together, and we can add the different fillings. So I was going to do 2 different kinds. In fact, I might just make 2 batches because this went so fast. I'm going to do 1 batch with some cranberries. I'm going to throw some cranberries in here. And we'll do some slivered almonds. Throw the slivered almonds in there as well. All right, then I have some unsulfured apricots. I love apricots and scones. So I'm just going to chop these up roughly before I get them in there. Of course, unsulfured apricots aren't as pretty as sulfured ones, but the advantage is that they are unsulfured. All right, I'm also going to add some lemon zest. This will be a nice, bright tasting, spring appropriate scone. A little bit of lemon zest to perk it up. I'm going to mix that all together. And now we're going to add milk. Now you can add any kind of milk you like, soy milk, almond milk. The richer the milk, the richer the scones are going to be. I have some homemade coconut milk here. And I am going to add 1 cup of coconut milk, I believe. I think maybe a little bit more. Oh, there goes my oven. I think I'm going to add 1.5 cups. And I will write this down so I will remember for myself. Okay, so you want to just make sure that all the dry components are incorporated. All right, so don't overmix it. And now we're just going to sort of roll this out and cut it. So I'm just going to flour my board. Now, sometimes I do it directly on my parchment, right on the pan if I'm making a small amount. So I'm going to take my scone mixture, and you can see it's a little dry looking, which is kind of how I want it. I don't want it to be uniform in texture. It's a very, very rough looking dough. I did not overwork it. I do not want to overwork it. We're just going to roll it out slightly, not even a lot. So if you look closely at the dough, you can actually see the fat particles that are getting spread out there. You can see a difference in the color between the yellow dough and a little bit of white fat particles, the coconut oil particles. So you want to make this maybe a ½ inch or so. And I'm just going to trim the sides here, and we'll roll that out again. I just kind of put these together. And then we're going to cut these into triangles. So it's easy just to cut them into squares like this, and then into halves. Okay, I'm going to have a lot of scones, especially if I make some chocolate ones. So I'm going to need someone to eat all of this. Okay, and then as you can see, I'm just sort of pushing this together. I'm not mixing it up and folding it. I just want to leave it as unadulterated as possible. Just kind of mashing it all together. And I think I can get 3 scones out of this like that. Okay. And that's it. And now we're going to make the other batch. Now, you want to bake scones in a hot oven. So I have my oven, it runs a little hot, so I have it set to about 400. If your oven is kind of slow, not super hot, you might want to heat it to 425. Got my oven heated to 400, and in these go. And now we're going to make some chocolate ones. Okay, once again, 3 cups of flour, pinch of salt, tablespoon of baking powder. I want these a little sweeter, so a half a cup of sugar. I'm gonna mix that up. Okay, in goes the coconut oil. Okay, for this one, we're gonna add some chocolate chips. 2 handfuls. How about some cacao nibs too, for that crunch, that chocolatey crunch. And some hazelnuts. I'm gonna chop these up really quickly. I added 1.5 cups of milk, and just like before, we're just gonna mix until it just comes together. And once again, I'm gonna roll it out. When an animal comes calling, I gotta give them something. How about all of these greens? Oh, so good, so yummy. Look at that. Oh boy. See? Sugar. Here's sugar. I knew somebody would eat these. I know, they're just for you. I picked them just for you, because you're special. Yes, you are. Okay, I gotta go back to work. I gotta go back to work. That's enough. Reggie. Madeline, look what I have. I heard you were out, and so I got some snacks for you. It's all organic. No, you don't like mango skin? All right, here, there you go. You guys can eat that. All right, well, the goats are gonna have a pool party today because it's a beautiful day and the sun broke. Oh, no, 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 you're not going in the house. You're not going in there. Now, how are we gonna get back in? Oh, they're all here now. Pool party. All right, scones are out of the oven. Oh yes, I'm gonna slather this with some homemade butter. This is the baking and culinary butter that'll be in my new book. Put some jam on it. Oh yes. Let me give this a taste. Lovely. With a mimosa for a Sunday morning brunch. Do they have mimosas in England? Is that?
Sure they do.
Or just an afternoon tea. All right, everybody. Let's all wish Annie farewell and good luck in her new country of England. Bye, Annie. Bye. See you again. Have fun.